We channel music? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jerry Bees, and today, like some of our more recent reactions, we are in for probably a banger. You know, probably. I don't know. I've never listened to it before. That's kind of the whole point of what we do here. We are finally getting to another album that you all have asked for. Okay, maybe not you all, but a lot of you have been asking for really since I started doing album reactions here on the channel. This one, for me, wasn't one that I thought I had to get to immediately, but I really underestimated not only the fan base, but also, I guess, the respect and reverence that this album has since it was released. This album came out last year. No reason to bury the lead anymore. Today, we are reacting to Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. Bobby Eyelash. So, I guess, like, in pure candor, I should just start out by saying I don't think we've gotten to this sooner. If I'm being completely honest with you, I just didn't think I was gonna like it. You know, obviously I've heard Birds of a Feather. Everybody and their mother has heard that song, but I think it's like a branch off of the whole Lord melodrama thing where maybe I just have to be like 17 and smoke cigarettes to like really get it. If slowcore is the wrong word for it, then that's what it is, but that's what I can call it. It's just like this like slower kind of whisper pop that it just doesn't call to me as much as some of the other things that we've reacted to here on the channel, even if I hadn't reacted to it before, even if, you know, I hadn't listened to a whole album, maybe I've heard a couple singles where I go, okay, there's some interest there. But, and this is a rather large behind. Since this album's come out, I've heard a lot, not only about Billie Eilish and just kind of her talents as a singer-songwriter. I mean, everybody saw the Barbie movie, right? That song was fantastic. But really, it's her brother that does the producing. Phineas. You can't tell me his name's Phineas. You know how many Phineas and Ferb jokes I'm going to make now? S to the I to the M to the P. So her brother Phineas is really like the mastermind between like all of the sounds that we get out of it. And I've heard a lot of praise for him. So I think it's one of those things where maybe like the personality of the pop star, I have nothing against Billie Eilish, but there's, like I said, there was nothing that kind of like maybe attracted me to that sound like Brat did or something else like that, right? Whereas I'm really interested to hear the sonic nature of everything and how everything's produced, how everything's mixed. Because this, now I know that Billie Eilish's fans are quite fervent, but you know, it really did seem like she kind of got shafted for Album of the Year. Here on the channel, we don't care that much about the Grammys, but it is what it is. A lot of people care about it. Artists can care about it. That's very validating for them. So we'll see if she got snubbed that hard. So what Sav says here, from what I've seen, a lot of reactors, their opinion was mostly mediocre/negative first listens, but as time went on, their opinions changed in favor of the album. And that happens a lot here on the channel. You know, this is really my first reaction. This is my first impression. As I have time to kind of sit with an album for longer, after listening to it, you know, I can go back and listen to a certain song and like, oh, I like that song a little bit better. And maybe I just like the album as a whole a little bit better. That's happened here on the channel before. So please do let me know your thoughts on my thoughts down in the comments below, as well as anything else that I might miss or get wrong. You let me know. We're all about devotion to accuracy here. Also, if you ever want to catch us live, make sure you click one of the links down in the description. And if you ever want to see any of these reactions uncut before they come out on YouTube, go ahead and check out my Patreon. We can get exactly that for just $1. I know we don't do math here on the channel, and a lot of you guys don't know what math rock is, but math rock helps you understand that is 4 quarters. It's a lot about her breakup with the lead singer of The Neighborhood. Is this another one of those, because he's, wouldn't he be a lot older? Is this another one of those, we've talked about that before. Yeah, okay. All right. So, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. Bobby Eyelash. Yeah, I heard a lot about it. Was kind of scared to get into it. Like I was saying, I didn't know how much I'd like it. But really, you can't judge an album off of the songs you've heard off of it, I guess. Which honestly has only been Bird of a Feather. I couldn't tell you anything else that I've even maybe could have heard. I know Birds of a Feather, What Was I Made For, and Bad Guy. That's it. That's all I've heard from her. Duh. Let's start off with Skinny.
Feeling off when I feel fine. 21 took a lifetime. People say I look happy just because I got still cry. You know what? Am I acting my age now? Am I already on the way out? When I step off the stage, I'm a bird and I can still cry. Still cry. I never did you right. Am I?
Oh. All right. So we got to pause there. We do talk about every song, but I'll make sure to go back a little bit because I'm catching that this is going to be a transition into the next song. So that was Skinny, and how about it? How about it, folks? I liked that quite a bit, mainly because that honestly just validated all the expectations I had about not only this album, but really Billie Eilish in general. Well produced. Her voice is fantastic, and it's slow and sad, right? You know, I really do like this idea. So, you know, given the title of the song, Skinny, right? You know, this idea of, you know, she got skinny, and a lot of people do that, you know, get into shape to feel better about themselves. And it can help, but the old me is still me, maybe the real me, and I think she's pretty. So maybe coming out of that transition, looking back and saying like, well, you know what? Maybe there's either some more work to be done inside, or really was it any real big deal at all for me to change? And it seems as though there's like this conflict of maybe some priorities of like, okay, I changed that, but there's some other things that could be addressed. I'm a dog in a dog pound. This talk about being a bird in a cage, and how I guess this idea of, you know, her being on the stage is way more freeing than any other aspect to her life. Now, I could be wrong. I could be looking way too far into it. These are my first impressions. The internet is hungry for the meanest kind of funny. Hey now. Taylor Swift already wrote Savage, all right? Or whatever that song was on Life of a Showgirl. Eldest daughter. Yeah. Taylor Swift already wrote Eldest Daughter. And also, you know, it going back to that whole idea of it being well produced, I really wanted to make sure that this album had some like soundscape aspects to it, and seeing that it's only 40 minutes long, I didn't know how much we'd get. But even just this little part towards the end, this I think making sure that you have just some space for just the instrumentals to set the tone for the rest of the album on the first track, you know, is definitely a way to kind of build your album. So they're laying down a great foundation right here. And like I said, it's kind of tracking with everything that I've kind of expected so far, but I am ready, more than ready, to be either proven wrong or to just get learned. Then we're going to get a move on with this. So we'll go back a little bit and we'll go into our second track here. Lunch. I didn't have that today.
I could eat that girl for lunch. Yeah, she dances on my tongue. Tastes like she might be the one. And I could never get enough. I could buy her there's so much stuff. It's a craving, not a crush. Call me when you're there. I said I bought you something rare, and I left it under Claire. So now she's coming up the stairs. Clothes on the counter for you, try it on. If I'm allowed, I'll help you take 'em off. She's taking pictures in the mirror. Oh my god, her skin's so clear. Tell her bring that over here. You need a seat, I'll hunch, but she might be the one. I could
There it goes.
be that girl for lunch. So she might be the
All right. It's just a little fun time there. I'm glad that those wub wubs kind of came in at the end of the song, because I mean it's a fun song about having a lady for lunch, right? Maybe I get a little bit more explicit at some point in my career, but I like dancing around the subject a little bit. And that's the focal point here. It's a fun little bassy pop beat. But knowing and hearing that, the production is one of the focal points of Billie Eilish's work, coming from Phineas, just putting a little bit more in there, because I was worried that, under 3 minutes, I'm like, okay, is this just going to be it? Because this is fine. It's a nice little fun beat talking about an activity that a lot of us enjoy. But no, I like that little inclusion. So again, it's coming through. It's all coming together here. Other than that, I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, because I got more to say on this, but I think we should let somebody else say it. So bear with me one moment. Let's ask Mac Miller.
Eating pussy is super underrated. I think it's crazy when dudes are like, I don't do that. That's wow, man. That's a great experience for everyone involved. You can even get intimate with it and hold hands during it, so it's like I'm not just eating your pussy, I'm like, we're here together to share this moment.
That's about all I got to say on it.
to take my love away. When I come back around, when I come back around, when I know what to say. Not today, maybe tomorrow. Did you take my love? How come when I returned you were gone away? I don't know where I go. In the garden, contemplating, beg your pardon, but there's a part of me that recognizes you. Do you feel it too? When you told me it was serious.
Hey, let's go, Daft Punk. I only say let's go Daft Punk because towards the end, just the way that the synth sound and how bassy really all of this has been so far brings me back to Daft Punk and puts me in that headspace, which is nothing but a compliment. This one works out a little bit better for me than the last song did in terms of it starts out very simple, and the foundation of this song and the rest, really the rest of the composition is quite simple. It's that simple beat, it's that real infectious bass line, but the bass line the bass sounds so good. It is so clean. I'm feeling it and hearing it. Sometimes there's a difference, right? We'll talk about maybe how bass is mixed sometimes. Sometimes it could just be so loud, it's really gobbling everything else up. Here, it's a perfect middle ground. I hear it, I feel it. That's the best case scenario. I know we've talked a little bit about older music and how, yeah, you could definitely hear the bass, but, they couldn't really mix it. This was before a lot of, production techniques to really boost up that sound. But here they're doing it the right way. And, in 5 minutes, they're taking some liberties with, dropping it and then bringing it back up. The elements that I'm hearing in the background, like the guitars, just kind of twinkling in the background through a lot of this, and all of the vocal tracks. Every single vocal track sounded incredible. I'm trying to remember what it was, because I was fooling around in a digital audio workstation, or a DAW. As far as I think they're doing some stuff with attack and release on the vocals. If you know anything about music production, please do tell me if I'm wrong. I know a very elementary amount of music production techniques and just things to do when you're putting a song together, or an audio track together. I want to say that they're fooling around with the attack and release, because it seemed like, at least in the backing vocals, like some of it got real quieter all of a sudden as lines were coming in, and then it just in and out, really added to how dynamic this really sounded. Now, as far as what the song was about, apparently this was based off of Spirited Away. I have seen that film. It has been so long, but if you want to talk to me about Howl's Moving Castle, that film fucks an unbelievable amount. I love that shit. So I think I've really only ever heard this song on whether or not it's been used on Reels or Shorts or TikToks or whatever the hell it is. You really couldn't escape this song for what it was. So this is me listening to the song for the first time. I would call this a reaction, because I know I've never listened to this full song. At least I don't think so.
I want you to stay till I'm in the grave, till I was always you. And if I'm turning blue, please don't save me. Nothing left to lose without my baby. Birds of a feather, we should stick together. I know I said I never could love you more. It might not be long, but baby, I'll love you till the day that I die. I want you to see how you look to me. You wouldn't believe if I told you. You would keep the compliments I throw you, but just quit. Don't be stupid.
See, I don't even know the words, and I'm already singing along.
Don't wanna say goodbye. We should still the day that I till the light in my eyes.
It's so catchy. It's simple, but not too simple, right? I mean, all of the ingredients to make a good, simple pop song are here, but just the attention to how everything sounds and how it progresses, the ebbs and flows of all of it. I know I'm speaking very high level, kind of broad terms here. Maybe down the line, I come to and I have a realization on one aspect of the song that I didn't have to when I listened to it for the first time. But sometimes it is just that simple. You know, I don't think too much about it. Just take it for what it is. And, you know, just that, I don't know if they're using the hi-hat there or it's like if they got a tambourine or what else is going on.
But you're so full of shit. Tell me it's
Like that element of the percussion is just streamlined through the entire song and doesn't really waver for a single second. Well, RVD, I will say, a lot of the sound of it that I'm getting, I mean, I'm really owing to Phineas here. Everything just sounds so clean. And that's one aspect of like pop music that I don't know how to feel about. On one hand, I like when there's grit. I like when there's like a little bit of personality to how an album is produced. But on the other end, if you can make it sound really clean and give me other elements that I find really interesting, whether you're panning this or you're turning the gain up on that, like whatever it is, you know, throwing that far in the mix behind everything else, but then towards the end of the song, it comes back in. I mean, the options are endless, and I'm really jiving with everything that I'm hearing so far. From a production standpoint. But I also agree with you in the sense that, I mean, her voice is fantastic. Her voice is fantastic. Something to do producing that bugs me is doing hundreds of takes and cutting them all together to make the absolute best sound. Gives us a little imperfection. Not everything needs to be so clean. Yeah, I like a little bit of personality. Like one of my favorite albums, 40 Ounces to Freedom by Sublime, that was like recorded with duct tape. You know, like some of it was done in like proper studios, but a lot of it was just done like wherever they could get the equipment to record a song from, like wherever they were. So, you know, it's not a very cohesive album in terms of how it sounds. But given what they talk about, given the energy of that band, I think it couldn't have sounded any differently. It was perfect for what it was. But here, I'm loving just how polished everything is. And I think their album Robin in the Hood, a large swath of it was recorded in a crack house. I don't know if they recorded Saw Red with Gwen Stefani in the crack house. Yeah, they liked their substances. If the title of the album 40 Ounces to Freedom wasn't that apparent. Hey, what's up? It's Editing Bees here, and while Sublime's affinity for substances might be very apparent, oftentimes the political biases in the news coverage that we get might not be. And that's why I want to say thank you to our partners at Ground News. Ground News helps me sift through the noise of partisan nonsense by combining news from around the world in one place so you can compare the political biases therein for yourself. For every news source, you can see if they have a political bias, how reliable their reporting is, and perhaps most importantly, who owns them. Their blind spot feature is probably my favorite aspect of Ground News, as it highlights news that may be disproportionately covered by just one side of the political spectrum. I find that Ground News is the perfect tool to get you thinking freely about the news coverage that inundates our timelines and really our daily lives. Click the link in my description to get 40% off the Vantage subscription to Ground News, which unlocks unlimited article access, ownership data, and factuality ratings. Remember, your subscription not only helps my channel, but it also supports Ground News as they make the media landscape more transparent and keep you more well-informed. Again, click the link in my description to get 40% off the Vantage subscription for Ground News. Now, back to the video. All right, moving on. Wildflower.
I wasn't there, but I know she was your girl. You showed her the world, but fell out of love, and you both let go. Shouldn't I? But I see her in the back of my mind all the time. Like a fever. Well, good things don't last, and life moves so fast. I'd never ask who was better, 'cause she couldn't be. And I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. Wanna put it all behind me. But baby, I can see her like a star.
All right. That was Wildflower. And honestly, this is how I kind of imagine this whole album to sound, just like incredibly slow and melancholic. Now it's hit me hard and soft. This hit me a little softer here. I like this song enough. And even though like this one's hitting me soft, they bring the heart a little bit just by like very subtly, but over time building the song kind of back up, and then this little falling down just to get us into this end here. This little outro is what you call it. Kind of brought us back down to baseline. It's about being friends with your boyfriend's ex, basically. I mean, yeah, I could see how that could rub you the wrong way. They were friends, then he broke up with her. Okay, this is too confusing now. This is too confusing. Can it just be a ballad? The
I'm
greatest.
trying my best to keep you satisfied. Man, am I the greatest? My congratulations. All my love and patience, all my admiration, all the times I waited for you to want me naked, made it all look painless. Man, am I the greatest? Man, am I the greatest? My congratulations. All my love and patience, all my admiration, all the man, am I the greatest?
What the fuck?
Man, am I the greatest? God, I hate it. All my love and patience, unappreciated. You said your heart was jaded. You couldn't even break it. I shouldn't have to say it. You could have been the greatest.
Yeah. For a second there, I was even a little worried that it was just going to be the exact same vibe as Wildflower. And I'm like, okay, here we go. This is what I was worried about. Just because like I just that kind of like slower, I hate to say it, just like sappy sound. It can hit me hard and or soft, but it just depends on, I don't know, either how I'm feeling or the way that it's conveyed through the instruments and all of that. I've been willing to put that all aside just because of how great either her voice is or how just everything else is sounding. But really, really giving credit here to the composition, the way, I mean, it just slaps you in the face as you get closer to the end of this song. I had always kind of pegged her as like being like the quintessential like whisper pop lady, which I guess isn't entirely incorrect, but that's not what I'm getting from this album. Or there's just not a ton of it, or it's meeting my ears in a good way. Now, apparently we got a reprise of the motif from the end of Skinny. I didn't necessarily catch that, but that's good to know. That's good to know that that's there. And honestly, that's like part of what makes a decent album for me, or at least a nice listening experience, when I'm expecting something. Oh, how the turns table. Keep me off my toes a little, hey, put me on shaky ground a little bit. I like that. And that's exactly what I got out of this. La Amor de Ma Vie, c'est la vie, right? That's how you would spell V, right? I don't know. Something French.
I wish you the best for the rest of your life. I said you were the love of my life, the love of my life. For making me feel like it'd kill you if I tried to leave. You said you'd never fall in love again because of me. Then you moved on immediately. But I wish you the best for the I said of your life, but you were not mine. It isn't asking for a lot more than apology for making me feel like it'd kill you if I tried to leave. You said you'd never fall in love again because of me, and you moved on, and you moved on.
Okay, yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Wanna know what I told her? With her hand on my shoulder. You were so mediocre, and we're so glad it's over now. Caught on camera, the girls on camera, the girls are fed up.
Dude, the ending of that song was so Julia. Yeah, really liked the surprise club mix here towards the end of it. But I liked both songs in this song. I really appreciated both songs in this song. Two vibes that kind of clash, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say here, we're, melancholic about the whole thing, but not even that, not even really. You said you'd never fall in love again because of me, then you moved on immediately. Bum, bum, bum. Now you're thinking that you're just doing that for automatopoeia, right? You're just doing that to, give, just like a yeah, or a do, right? Third eye blind. But no, here, I think you can read into it and say like, oh no, you're a bum. But I wish you the best for the rest of your life, So it's kind of this cheeky little, I'm still kind of upset about it, but I'm trying to be the better person, trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here. But what you did kind of fucked me a little bit. And then maybe okay, so I'm going to dance my ass off, or, I'm just going to try and move past this the only way I know I can. And that's when you kind of get the clubby section here. You were so mediocre and we're so glad it's over now. It's over now. She made this about your ex. Dude, that sucks. Sucks for them. Everybody knows this song. The Diner. The Dinner? I'm hungry.
love you all so much. This is the best tour ever. I'll talk to you soon.
You can text this phone number. If you want to be texted first, press any key now. Messages will be sent to your number via community. Standard messaging and data rates apply. Consent is not a condition of purchase.
I got Billie Eilish's phone number now. Let's go. How was I not going to do that? It's like saying I'm not going to call 86753. They took off 8675309. Man, you used to be able to call 8675309 and get Jenny. That's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know if she had another message there, but that message was for the people of San Francisco. Nice little Easter egg there. I like when artists do that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this one gave me like Bad Guy 2 kind of a deal. You know, it's like I counted a 1-2 time signature, like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, because somebody said that it sounded like polka, a lot of polkas in 1-2. So is a lot of punk rock as well, and ska punk polka. I bet you didn't think that was real. Yeah, this one was fun, you know, kind of like creepy gremlin vibes. I'm waiting on your block. You know, I like that. That's so not only in how it sounds, the beat, but also like this kind of like bad guy-ish nature to the whole thing. It's like, please don't call the cops, bro. They've been looking for me, dude. They've been looking for me. I could be your wife. Just don't call the cops. It used to say, hey, wait, I can't hear you. Hello, hold on. Let me call you back. As if you were a stalker calling her, but not saying anything. So that works so well with like the message. Dude, yeah. Let's have fun sometimes. It's okay to do that. It's perfectly acceptable. Billie had a really scary situation with the stalker, or else so she wrote a song from their perspective. Gotcha. Jerry thinks we all hate fun. What? I'm not saying that at all. Some people don't. Some people really hate it when you're having a good time. And I think we're having a good time. We got 2 songs left, and I like the wordplay on this next song. This is Bittersuite, spelled sweet like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Okay.
I've been having dreams. You were in the foyer. I was on my knees. Gotta watch what I say. Gotta hope it all goes away. 'Cause I want to.
Oh, God. Oh. We channel music?
Between everything I've seen in my dream, everyone's awake, killing on my feet, can't sleep, heavy underneath all of my beliefs, keep it free. I'll wait in the sweet, keep me off my feet. So romanticized, if this is how I die, that's alright. I don't need to breathe when you look at me. All I see is green leaves, keep it brief. We'll see you in the sweet. We can be discreet. But I've been overseas, and I've been having dreams. I'm more than Ma Vie.
Call back. What the fuck? Dude, the way those synth sounds came in at the end, I thought I was listening to Lights by Ellie Goulding for a second. I mean, yeah, first of all, let's get this going, right? Understandable, valid. We don't do recaps here on the channel anymore. And what I mean by that, we used to, when I first started reacting to albums, before the last song, I would give a recap as a way to hype up the last track. But I stopped doing that because, like, didn't really make a lot of sense. It made so much more sense just to talk about the album entirely after the last song. But I can't not say this now. I mean, this has exceeded all of my expectations so far, and it's ringing, all these praises for Phineas and, how he's able to produce a lot of these sounds. That's one thing, but it's really the compositions. When they choose to switch it up, when they choose to slow it down, like, oh man, like it's so infectious. Like it becomes involuntary. Like when I'm just kind of moving like this during like some of these songs, you really got to get with it. And somebody had said towards the beginning of the stream that, a lot of reactors here reacting to this album, it's either, mediocre or just maybe not that great, but it grew on them over time. I'm already liking it quite a bit, but this lends itself to some re-listens, maybe just get some things out of it. I'm wondering if I can like it more than I already do. I think that's what it is. So it's like, what else is there in this album to kind of offer me? Because I've really been liking it as it's been happening. Her voice was one thing, his production's the other thing, but it's really the compositions that I'm really coming around to here. And just these elements of like sad to fun to bad guy 2 with the diner. Love a good chunk of this album sounds like soundtrack fodder for Techno Kitten Adventure. Please somebody get the reference. Yeah, no, Techno Kitten Adventure was it, man. The use of the greatest motif in this album is what easily makes it goated for me. Yeah, those recurring themes lend itself to a great album in the sense where it should be treated as one whole piece outside of just a collection of songs. I found this album to be cohesive, very like sonically speaking, but that's more of a composition instrumental thing that I haven't quite picked up on this listen, but I could imagine re-listens just opening up the door, maybe even opening up the door to the ocean as we kind of see here in the album cover. But that's neither here nor there. We have one song left, and then I'll give my conclusions, maybe wrap it up with a bow a little bit better. But here we go. Blue. Oh, that chord.
So deprived of oxygen, colder than your father's eyes. He never learned to sympathize with anyone. Of what you've heard, but they could say the same about me. I sleep about 3 hours each night, means only 21 a week now.
Hands down, one of the best album closers we've heard on the channel. Absolutely knocked this shit out of the park. I know I'm gonna sound like some, oh, of course this guy would say this, like some pretentious dolt. But I gotta keep it 100 with you, because who else is gonna keep it 100 with you? Nobody. Believe that. The second half of this song is just like oozing everything I like love about Radiohead. The way that they're using the melody, get this tone across with using electronic elements. And I know the strings are coming in, and we've heard the strings throughout the album. Obviously, they're bringing the motif back here towards the beginning of the song. Birds of a Feather calling back to that. And in other songs calling back to Love of My Life. All of that shit, right? It just absolutely knocks it out of the park. It's so cinematic towards the end of this. And this really was a great way to end an album. This wasn't just a collection of songs here. This was really a sit down and eat it up kind of experience. And they really capped it off with this song. I like this idea of blue. Obviously, like, oh, I'm feeling blue. But you see it like those deep, dark blues represented in the album cover for one. And I'm not quite sure how to interpret all of this, but something about just a baby born blue now. So it talks about like lack of oxygen. It maybe kind of talking about maybe she's underwater, like in the album cover, like she's drowning. Whether or not that's, you were born bluer than a butterfly, beautiful and so deprived of oxygen, colder than your father's eyes, never learned to sympathize with anybody. And there's so many things here to grab onto that I just could not get a chance to wrap my head around. But you saw me, I'm looking like real intently, because I just didn't know where it was going to go. And this album has already switched up so many songs in so many drastic different ways that I think they're really utilizing this sense of anxiety towards the end of it. Because I'm sitting here like, what the fuck's going to happen? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is going to happen? The song is a reworked version of two previously unreleased songs. First, True Blue Interlude from Imaginal Disc, which is what I've recalled. But anyway, the song is a reworked version of two previously unreleased songs. First, True Blue, which Billie and Phineas recorded when they were 14 and 18. The full version of the demo was leaked in 2022, inspiring her to work on it again. The other song is Born Blue, which was going to be a featured track on Happier Than Ever. The end of the song is rumored but unconfirmed fan theory that Hit Me Hard and Soft is going to be a double album. Yeah, this was really just such a strong landing to finish the album out with. Because at first I was like, oh, it's giving me Creep vibes. And I'm like, wait, it's giving me No Surprises vibes. Then it was giving me, Everything in Its Right Place vibes. It's like, because I've already said it here on the channel, like Radiohead and all those fucking nerds are just so good at what they do. And I think that there is a branch of the musical artist band tree that trickles down. And I think Phineas has really caught that vibe and shown why people talk about him. A lot of my knowledge before coming to this album was just, he's a terrific producer. And he definitely produced the fuck out of this. Sure, I know I complained a little bit that it was just so fucking clean, but they're keeping me on my toes with everything else. Fuck it. We gotta talk about the album here. This is the conclusions part, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you guys were saying this was a masterpiece. I don't know if I'd go that far, but this album is definitely going into the hall of very, very good albums. Very, very good albums. There's something to be said off of an album that's only 43 minutes long, but that is still so incredibly dense within its songwriting. Because, towards the end of the album, I'm like, oh, wait, that's a callback to that song. Wait, that's a callback to that song. There may have been callbacks to other songs in previous albums or things in Billie's life that I'm just, ignorant to which I will usually say you got to give credit to the listener at some point to where, you can't ask too much of them to understand everything, but I wouldn't say I was lost so much that I wasn't enjoying myself. Obviously catching the reprise of that motif from Skinny throughout the album, especially in that last song, again, it makes it feel like a very, very cohesive project. This is one where I eat my own words, like wholeheartedly. I did not think I was really gonna jive with it that much. Really, like Wildflower was really the only song where I was like, nah, okay, fuck it. Everything else had more to it. I can't even recall everything right now, but the switch ups, the diner was so much fun, and Bittersuite. Oh man, just extremely edible, extremely accessible in the best ways. I think that's really a cool thing when you're a pop act. You don't have to do a ton. You don't have to reinvent any wheels. And I'm going to be honest with you folks, if you're a pop star and everybody loves you, you don't have to try. You just don't have to. But here, the effort is pretty plain. It's plain. It's out there. You can get your, high level pop stuff from this, your sad, melancholic pop stuff from this. But if you want to listen with a little bit more of an intrigued ear, I think there's a lot for you to get out of this. And I think there's even more for me to get out of this on separate listens. I don't know how different this is from her other works, but I don't think I could have asked for a better introduction to Billie Eilish here on the channel. Bobby Eyelash. Second half was so much fun, but I do love the first half. Well, that's what I'm sitting here thinking like at Wildflower, I was like, okay, maybe it's just going to be 9 more tracks of just this, and then you guys have to tell me why it's incredible, and I'm just like, but no, you guys didn't even have to tell me why it was incredible. I fucking figured it out why it was incredible. Wildflower kind of just seems to be, it's in the middle of the album, it's a little bit slower, way to break some things up, way to break up that section of the album. This was paced very well. I know the finished YouTube video is going to be a little bit shorter than the recording session and the live session that we're doing right here, but I'm glad I was able to kind of compartmentalize the pacing from just how long it kind of takes us to do some of these reactions sometimes. Because it's a quick in and out, but there's more to, and like lunch. Oh man, just have fun. Just have fun with Mac Miller. Yeah, I'm very excited to not only see what she does next, but I guess I'm excited to listen to her prior albums. I also really like this on her Spotify. She's posing with her merch. That's fun. That's cool. She didn't have to do that, and she's doing it. That's fun. I like that. They're not professional photos. She's like, oh yeah, just let me put this on real quick. So that was my reaction to Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. I am very glad I kind of ate my own words from the beginning of the reaction. I got a lot out of that, but if there's anything that I missed, or you didn't agree with any of my takes, or you want to embolden me and encourage me to keep saying the things that I do, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. If you ever want to catch us live, make sure you click one of the links in the description. If you want to see this reaction uncut, as well as every other reaction that I've done, and pretty much every reaction that I do in perpetuity, go ahead and check out my Patreon, where you can get exactly that for $1. And again, another huge shout out to our partners at Ground News. Use the link in my description for 40% off the Vantage plan. Bobby Eyelash. But with that said, I've been Jerry Bees. You've been awesome. Take it easy.
Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog.